With the Realme X2 now launched in India, the mid-range war is more fierce than ever with the new device going against the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now, while the specs difference is one thing, most of you guys are primarily interested in camera performance of the two, and well, that's what we will be doing today. Hi guys, this is Ashish from Guiding Tech, and this is the camera comparison of Realme X2 with the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So well, let's get started. I won't waste much time talking about the specs here because let's face it, both the phones have the same, almost the same camera setup with the primary camera of 64 megapixel. But numbers never tell you the whole story, do they? So let's see what both the devices can do. In daylight shots, both the phones are able to capture pretty good images. However, there's a clear difference in terms of processing. The Realme X2 goes for a warmer tone with slightly higher saturation, while the Note 8 Pro exhibits images that offer a more true tone finish. Now, this is a debatable topic since some people actually prefer saturated image more, so I'll let you be the judge in terms of colors. However, when it comes to details, the Note 8 Pro is definitely better than the X2. The images look sharper, and even zooming in, there isn't much lack of detailing. The one thing I'd like to point out, which is that the Xiaomi phones tend to do a bit of over sharpening in some cases to achieve this feature. As a result, some portions of the images might look unreal at points, so there's that. Nevertheless, overall, I'd still pick the Redmi Note 8 Pro over the Realme X2 here. Now the story completely changes when you turn the lights off. In time of night photography, the Note 8 Pro has trouble with balancing the details and removing the noise. As a result, the images turn out to be rather soft. On the other hand, the Realme X2 does an excellent job in low light. The images have more details, appear sharper, and there is very low noise. The color tones once again are slightly saturated on the Realme devices. For instance, look at the grass in the background and you can see that it is so much green. That's definitely not how it's like. But then again, some of you might find it appealing and would even go as far as applying filter on the Redmi image to achieve a similar result. Okay, so that was about the rear cameras. But what about the front-facing one? Well, in daylight shots, the Redmi Note 8 Pro once again manages to outshine the X2. The images appear sharper and have more details. However, here's a better example of the over-sharpening that Xiaomi does. You see, while the face along with the neatly trimmed beard looks great, the jacket's textures have definitely been over sharpened, which makes it look unrealistic. Now in the portrait mode, both the cameras do an excellent job in terms of edge detection. Personally, I prefer the bokeh effect on the Realme slightly more than since it's natural, but that is not to say that the one on the Redmi is bad. In fact, if you look at them as individual shots, both are stellar and there is hardly much to differentiate. Lastly, we head to the low light selfies, and I think you know where this is going. It's quite clear that the X2 does a far better job than the Redmi by capturing more details, preserving the background and still eliminating the noise. Xiaomi does none of these things, but the one area where it manages to excel is with the colors, and you don't see the oversaturated image in this one. Now the thing to note here is that Redmi Note 8 Pro doesn't have a dedicated night mode for the selfies, unlike the Realme X2. Now when it comes to videography, there are some interesting findings. So firstly, on the 1080 at 60 fps, while both the videos look smooth, the Note 8 Pro shows slight exposure issues when panning around the surroundings. Also, while walking, Realme's footage seems to be more stable as opposed to its counterpart. That said, that does not come at its own cost, since Realme does crop the frame a lot, really a lot, to achieve this stabilization. Also, both the cameras top out at 4K 30 fps, which is decent given the powers of both the chipset on board. The story remains the same here. Realme manages to keep a better exposure overall, and the video isn't that jittery when you compare it to the Xiaomi phones. Also, unlike the still photos, Realme's videos look more natural, while Xiaomi has slightly warmer tone to it. Now a lot of you guys seems to be interested in this new trend, so I also decided to check out the slow motion capabilities of both the devices. Just for the fun, and interestingly though, I found that the X2 drops a lot of frame while the Note 8 Pro shoots a very clear video, and without doubt the Xiaomi devices excel at this particular point. Now that you've seen all the photos and videos, which phone are you gonna go for? Well, this may sound weird, but I'd personally pick the Realme X2 simply because as an overall package it delivers a better experience, and the section where it's behind Xiaomi can be tuned in editing. That said, not everyone will be accustomed to that, and more importantly, the 2K price cap might not be justified for most of you guys out there. As such, you can go with the Note 8 Pro, but be prepared for not so good low light experience. So well, that's what I think about both the cameras on these devices. But what do you think? Do let me know in the comment section. If you like the video, please do give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Guiding Tech if you haven't already. So well, that's all for this video and I hope to see you in our next one. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.